Hey guys, my name is Matt with Atlantic Firearms. Wanted to talk to you guys today about what we're seeing with some of the parts kits and some varying metal hardnesses with the kits. It's a little bit concerning to us and some of our customers, but I think it's definitely something that can be rectified, and we look forward to working with you guys to get this all straightened out. So without any further ado, we're going to start with the modified kit that we just received here. After that, we're going to go into two more kits from the same batch that was shipped with the modified kits. And you can see quite a difference in material. So we'll start with the top cover first. The top cover being hard only concerns us for really people dropping their guns on the top cover and it denting, or the builder having to bend the top cover to fit the receiver a little bit and it not having much spring in the steel. You can see this one, of course I could squeeze it and fold it, but squeezing it a little bit, it's springing back just like it should. So this is good. And this is the modified kit. That's exactly what we're looking for there. Next piece we'll take a look at will be the trigger guard in this modified kit. There's the trigger guard here. Guys, this isn't a very scientific test, but basically I'm just going to try and bend the metal. This is a little bit softer than I would like, but at the same time, this holds its shape much better than you will see some of the other parts do. So it would be nice if this was a little bit harder. Now to the selector. This is probably the piece that's brought the most concern to our customer base, is these selectors. And honestly, to us as well, with building, it makes the build extremely challenging if this isn't treated properly. So again, not extremely scientific, but trying to bend it. You can see it bends a little bit, but it springs right back as it should. That way you can adjust tension as that fits to the receiver. Let's go ahead and move down to the next kit. Also received on the same date as the modified kit, but here again, this is not modified. We'll start with the top cover again. Top cover, guys, you can see it looks all pretty straight, but you see I just bent that and there's no spring at all to it. I mean, it just crushed. And the more that you bend it, the more pliable it gets. So that's definitely not what it would be. Nicer if this was harder. You can see how the shape is dramatically changed just from squeezing it a little bit. Now I can pry it back open, just like I've done here, and you see that. That's really not ideal. Let's take a look at the trigger guard next, and then the selector. Just the trigger guard, guys. I slipped a little bit, but wow, I mean, extremely soft. Shouldn't be this soft. If the customer is to drop the gun on the ground and it was to hit a rock right here, or even a piece of wood, it'd probably dent this pretty bad. So definitely an issue there with that being soft. And that's fairly consistent across a lot of the parts that we have. Here's the selector out of this same kit. You can see, I mean, not much force was applied. That's bent. There's no spring to the steel. Here we go. We're bending it back the opposite direction. This just begins to become more pliable the more you move it. And of course, it doesn't go back to its original shape very well. It doesn't look very good. Let's go to the next kit out of that same batch. And this is, again, just so you guys can see a couple examples of this same issue, because we're seeing this on the overwhelming majority, unfortunately, of the parts. Here again is the top cover. You can see it's a nice crisp shape top cover. I'm just going to put a little light squeeze on it. And you can see definitely drew it in. We're pulling it out. You can see it pulled it out. The shape is distorted. No spring there. So a selector and another trigger guard. This trigger guard, nice shape to it right now. Go ahead, just put a little tweak on it. I mean, it's taking minimal effort to bend it. It shouldn't be that way. So we want to work with you guys to go ahead and get this rectified, because everything else with the kits is really nice. We just want to get this corrected. You can see again the selector and the bend, and the more that we bend it, the more pliable it gets. So these are critical components. We do have a couple of, these are some Polish pieces that we buy brand new from a company in Poland. And we've been getting parts from them for a little while. These parts are, consistent with what I would expect to see for AK parts. You can see I'm squeezing this, and yes, it will bend a little bit, but there's spring to it. It comes back. You can see, like, if you flex it, it's going back to its original shape, and it's really not distorting very much. Same thing with this selector. I mean, you can see I'm not bending the selector the way I was with the other previous two that really just pushed my thumb on and bent. So this will require more force to bend. And I didn't have a Polish example of this, but this is a broken Romanian surplus trigger guard. And I'm going to squeeze this, try and bend it the way that I bent the other one. And you can see it's really not moved its shape. It's much harder than those other pieces were. Of course, it can be bent with more force, but that's what we're looking for. We're a little bit more force to bend those. So guys, if you have questions about this stuff, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're really enjoying working with you thus far, and we want to continue to grow the relationship and the product and sell more of these products here in the States. So I think that rectifying these couple of things, a little bit of stuff for us to iron out in the beginning, we should be in good shape after that. So definitely let us know if you need anything from us to go ahead and make these corrections. Thanks again.